This is Tucker from MattKiteboarding.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about an exciting unboxing, I guess unbagging. We have the Duotone Unit 5-meter wing foiling wing. I've been pretty excited about this one since I've seen it, so I thought I'd bring you guys along a ride here. I get super excited when I get something new, especially for wing foiling, because it's such an exciting new sport. It's growing so quickly and advancing so quickly that every time a new product comes out, it's like, man, is this going to be huge? Is this going to be something new? And the unit looks really cool. I'm really excited about it. So we're going to unbox it, take a look at a few things, and then I'll go ride it for a couple of weeks and come back to you guys, tell you about it. So let's do it. So I got it out of the box, this beautiful purple and green color scheme. I love it. It's 80s, it's cool. We'll just look at the bag real quick before I pump it up and look at the other stuff, because it is a small detail that a lot of people want to hear about. We do have mesh on the top, quick drawstring, nice and easy, good handle, and nice label and vent on the bottom. So that's really nice. You know, it's a basic sausage bag, super lightweight, allow you to carry it from place to place. You can carry multiple wings in one hand pretty easily. But it's really nice. They took the time to add that little feature of the vents, just to remove any kind of sand from the wing and allow the wing to breathe a little bit, you know, while it's in transport, especially if it's a little bit damp, you know, before you get it home and pump it up and let it dry out, or if you don't dry it out at the beach. So it's a nice little feature there. So let me pump this up and I'll come right back to you guys. All right, so I've got it all pumped up. Behind me here, we've got the Duotone Unit wing foiling wing, and I'm pretty excited about this guy. Pumping it up now, I'm even more excited to get this one on the water. But before I do, let me walk you through a couple of things I noticed unboxing it and pumping it up. Number one, you've got the Trinity fabric from Duotone in the Canopy. It's a really rigid canopy. It lasts a long time. It holds its shape well. So you know that throughout the years, this thing isn't going to bag out fast. It's always going to provide excellent performance and the longest life possible while still keeping it pretty lightweight. This thing is crazy light. When I was picking it up, it was like a feather. Now I don't have a weight on it yet, but I would guess it's one of the lighter wings on the market, especially the lightest with a window. So really surprised and stoked on that. And there's a couple of reasons for that we will go over in a minute. But a few things you can see on the front here. Obviously beautiful graphics like you always expect from Duotone. Really top-notch stuff. Finishing looks phenomenal. They really take a lot of time and effort to make these things look good. You've got some Dacron material here on the front. This is a nice wear patch. So when the wing's upside down, that you're not getting scratches on your leading edge, and when you're pumping it up, this is a point of wear for a lot of wings. So they put a little extra material there. It's a lightweight Dacron, so that will be really nice to extend the life of the wing again. You know, you can see these little, I don't want to say hexagons here, around critical seams. You know, you can see all the little supports. So they've really done their homework to, you know, looks like really extend the life of this wing, make it last a long time, make it extra durable, you know, especially for the waves, because remember, this is a wing that's designed for wave and free riding. So those are really critical features, you know, if you want your wing to last a long time. The windows look really great on this one. They're in a sweet spot, closest to the boom as possible. You know, this is really where you're doing a lot of your viewing if you're actually using a window. You know, out here, you don't really see much. You see water, you see sky. So what you want is your window as close to the boom opening as possible here, which is what they've got. It's a nice square area so that you can see a pretty good picture downwind of you. You know, really excellent placement on the window, so I was excited to see that. Going to the trailing edge here, they've got a double layer of the Trinity fabric here in kind of a diamond shape in this trailing edge. And that really increases the stiffness in the back of the wing. And again, in the waves, a lot of times the trailing edge, especially if you're doing sinker starts, is taking a lot of the brunt from the waves inside the under the water. So that is really going to help extend the life, as well as an even smaller diamond down here of the Dacron at the wing or at the boom tip, because again, that is where you're going to get a stress point when you're pumping it up, when you're handling it on land. And they go even further with another wear patch on the tip there. So there's 4 layers of fabric down here. You got your wear patch, your Dacron, and 2 layers of Trinity. So that's some seriously robust engineering for this wing, and well thought, Duotone, good job. Somehow still made it super lightweight. So that's, I think, all we can really look at on this side. Let's get to the other side, the operating end of things, and show you that. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this wing is so light. It's such light wind out here today, but it's like flying away on me, taking off, just sitting here. I can't really get it to sit nicely for me. So here we are to the operating end of the wing. We'll talk through a few things. Just start at the leading edge like I kind of always do here. You've got your reinforcements along the wing tips. Don't really have a lot of reinforcement here, so this one might be a little bit vulnerable if you're looking to wing skate with it on a skateboard and cement or land board with it. Small critique, but it's keeping it lightweight, and especially on the wing tips, keeping that swing weight low and the handling of the wing. So I think, you know, with their chief purpose, free riding and wing foiling in the waves, you're all good. You got your reinforced stitching on your get your reinforced patches on your stitching areas so that they don't come unraveled. In terms of the front handle, you've got a nice lightweight front handle here with a neoprene patch underneath. That way, if your fingers are constantly rubbing on the stitching area in Dacron, they're not getting raw. And you are hanging onto that handle a lot. If you're riding a lot of waves, especially good waves, you're holding onto that leading edge luff handle, we call it, a lot. And really that can chafe on your fingertips. So that's gonna help reduce that. Really key feature, nice little detail on that. You'll notice here we just got a little pigtail for our wrist leash. These wings do not come included with a wrist leash. So if you don't already have a leash for your wing or for another wing that you're gonna share with it, you'll wanna add that to your order. You can use pretty much any leash on these. You know, so if you already have another wing, even if it's another brand, you can still share it with this, so don't worry about that. And that's just an optional thing they're doing. They're not making you buy extra leashes even if you don't need them. So it reduces the cost and reduces waste out there in the world. So again, good on them, but it is an important thing to note. If you do need a leash, add that to your order. It's not gonna come included. So moving down here, we'll talk about our inflation. We've got a nice thick strut connection hose here, so it pumps up quickly, it deflates quickly out of there. Really smooth, seamless system from Duotone, just like you'd expect. On this end, we've got our Airport 2 valve. It's a really nice valve there, locks it down with that. You do need a special adapter for it if you don't already have a Duotone adapter tip. You'll want to add one to your order. Again, they don't come included. You might expect, hey, they're going to throw a pump adapter in the bag with the wing. They do not do that. So if you don't already own Duotone kites, or you don't already own a Duotone wing or have an adapter for it, you'll want to add one to your cart, or you won't be able to pump it up. Doesn't come with a pump either. So if you don't have a kite pump, add that to your order. It's not going to come automatically included. You know, again, keeping the price low, not having all this excess stuff out there in the world if you don't need it. So that's that. Your inflation valve works great like it always does. If you have any questions about how to use that, let us know. It's just a bayonet lock to the right, pump it up, turn it left to lock it in, and then you can pull it out. If you pull that valve out without locking it shut, it's going to deflate. And if you want to deflate it, you can turn it to the right and let it deflate out of this valve. Additionally, Thank goodness somebody actually did one. There is a dump valve on your strut. So these struts are huge. They take a while to push the air out if you're pushing it out through the hose, especially if you have a smaller hose like some brands do. Duotone, I love you. You put a dump valve on the strut that helps you pack it up quick, get it in the car, get on your way. Just remember to shut it up before you pump it, otherwise you're not going to get very far. So remember, use your deflate valve, get out of the beach quick, get out of everybody's way. Be sure you shut it up before you pump it up, otherwise you're just doing a bunch of work for nothing. Moving along, I guess let's not move along yet. Let's talk about the leading edge. If you look at the leading edge, it's a single piece of Dacron all the way around, and it's brilliant. A lot of other manufacturers are using multiple pieces of Dacron. It adds weight, it adds points of vulnerability. So good on Duotone. They're trying to make a lightweight wing. They simplify that leading edge, and bam, it's lighter weight. You got a single piece of Dacron. There's no weak spots, you know, where they're joining material and extra complications, adding weight. So it's really cool. It gives it a really clean look, really smooth, clean look, which I dig, and really excited about that lightweight. Again, it's so light, it's crazy. So yeah, let's go into the boom. Next, we've got this kind of side curvature here. Let me show you a good picture of it. It's got this bend in it. So I saw that initially and I'm like, whoa, that's wild. It's not a straight boom, it's curved. I wonder what that's about. So I asked the guys at Duotone. They told me it's ergonomics. And after they said it, it totally clicked. It made sense. Having this bend in the boom allows your front hand to sit a little bit more naturally on the handle, whereas usually you're kind of way out here, outstretched. So it brings that front hand a little bit closer and more natural. So you're not stretching your shoulder out as much. And that reduces fatigue. It makes a more comfortable riding experience. Additionally, what it does is it helps shape the airfoil section of the wing. So the curvature along the back or the top side of the wing here, you've got a bit of a leash panel here to help shape that front edge where this comes out. But then it bends in and the strut actually shapes the back edge, which really increases that rigidity and the responsiveness and the tension in this canopy. It almost feels like a windsurfing sail because you've got such a tight connection here shaping the back edge of that wing. So what that turns into is a more responsive, crisp feeling wing, which is going to give you better pumping power, more efficient flying, and less flutter, which are all really cool things that I get excited about in a wing. Obviously, they've really thought all this stuff through. They did an awesome job R&Ding this, and for Duotone's first inflatable boom model, I'd say they knocked it out of the park as far as I can see, at least so far. So I'm really excited to get out there and demo it. I mean, look at the tension in this canopy, guys. It's pretty impressive in that alone. So I'm really excited to try it and get out there. That's one of the things that I really look for in a wing, is a tight canopy, you know, to really increase that efficiency, that pumping grunt, and reduce flutter. Excuse me, reduce flutter. So it just flies a little bit more efficiently, more naturally in your hands, and it's quieter, which is just kind of more peaceful and nice. So anyway, back to the boom here. Handles, we've got a different looking handle here than a lot of the other brands. You can tell they've really reinforced these with these nylon strapping, and that's really important in the waves. If you're going to tumble through a wave with it, or if you're hanging on by accident and you're riding with power, you know, you want these handles to have a tight connection. You don't want them to loosen up over time. You don't want them to rip out, of course, which I actually haven't seen any of that with any of our brands thus far, but they really went through a lot of trouble to reinforce this and do a good job on those handles, which is awesome. We've got our front handle here, and if you notice, it's got kind of a foam covering, a foam rubber covering, which is really nice to hold on to. It fits in your hand really smoothly. I don't think it's going to chafe on your fingers as much, maybe if you get it full of salt water. I'm not sure what their thinking is with this. But it's really comfortable. It's large enough where you could share a handle with two hands. pretty easily, I think. It feels really responsive and pretty rigid, which is cool. I have not seen this foam rubber stuff on a handle before, so I can't really speak to the durability of this. But it feels pretty tough. I mean, it's thick, and I'm scratching at it here, and it's not really like showing any wear or feeling strange. So I think it's gonna hold up. One thing I would say is if you're gonna put, let me hold off on that in a second. Anyway, going back here, you got 3 back handles. I could see myself probably using this back one a lot, or maybe the middle one for light winds, whereas this kind of middle handle seems to be more like a one-handed flying sort of handle, so you probably won't use it quite as much. I'm excited to see where I'm going to put my harness line on this. This does not have harness line pigtails or a dedicated attachment anywhere on this boom. So I'm going to have to figure that out. If I had to guess, I'm probably going to go sort of between this and that, maybe. So this handle is that, but I also don't want to put it around that foam rubber part. So I'll probably connect it across these two below the foam rubber, and then maybe put it up here under that, and hopefully it doesn't slide over and damage this foam rubber stuff, because I'm sure with extended use and pressure that would dent that foam rubber and maybe tear it. So just gonna be a little bit careful about where I'm putting that harness line, and yeah, I'll report back after I ride it and let you guys know kind of what I find out, where I put it and how that works out. But yeah, so that's our boom. Let's see, is there anything else we want to talk about here? I think we kind of nailed it. It's nice and tapered in the back here, just for sake of keeping it streamlined and smooth where it's releasing out the back, but it still stays nice and taut and stiff throughout the tail of the boom there. So yeah, I think they nailed it with this one. I'm really, really excited to ride it. So I just got to wait. Hopefully this weekend, it looks like we got some good wind, and I'll get out there and ride it, get you guys some B-roll shots, show you how it flies. And I'll come back, finish this video up with a review so you guys can know how it rides and what I think of it anyway. If you have any questions or comments at all, go ahead and put those in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you appreciated this video, share with a friend, and as always, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like this. All that really helps us out. So go ahead and do that if you wouldn't mind. This has been Tucker with MattKiteboarding.com, and we'll talk to you next time.